Hey everyone, Tyler here, Taylormade Golf. This video is going to be on how to hit 3-woods. So as always, if a little notification box pops up, you will get notified of these videos. Go ahead and click yes. If you enjoy the content I'm putting out, please hit like and share with your friends. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. I will answer them at the end. Okay, so this video, how to hit 3-woods, right? And what we'll do is we'll cover a little bit of hitting 3-woods. We'll go 3-woods off the deck, and if I can whittle down a tee real quick, I'll hit 3-woods off the tee, I guess. So let's get started. Let's talk about a 3-wood in general, right? Put the glove down. So I have a 3-wood in the bag. If you've been following along, you've noticed that I haven't been rocking a 3-wood for quite some time. My old 3-wood was just not fit right for me at all. I got a horrible launch angle out of it. I couldn't spin the golf ball enough with it. And a big part of that has been the weight of the golf shaft. With the big push for lighter weight shafts and people, just going with that flow, they don't make very many heavy 3-wood, fairway wood shafts anymore, so they're really hard to come by. And if you're having to buy one, they're incredibly expensive. But so anyways, I like my shafts to be heavier, my golf shafts to be heavier. Especially with the woods. Like my driver shaft is like 75 grams. This 3-wood shaft is uncut, was 86 grams. I don't know what it weighs right now, but it's probably around 80 to 82 grams, somewhere in there. My my hybrid shaft is like 95 grams. So I have like a 10 gram, increment step up with those clubs until I get to the irons, which are like 130. And so the key with hitting a 3-wood is making sure that it is fit right for you. Because if it's not fit right for you, it just won't work. And that was the issue that I had. The 3-wood that I had before wasn't fit right for me, so it just didn't work. Like I said, I got this shaft, I got it cut, and I got a tip put on it for the Taylormade heads. And I just had this old, I shouldn't say old, it's like brand spanking new. It's an SLDR. It's an SLDR head. It's one of their 17-degree heads, so it's a smaller head, and I have the loft turned all the way down to its lowest setting, so it's at 15.5 right now, so nice solid 3-wood head loft for me. And then it also gets that club face a little open too, so I like an open face at address. Much rather have an open face than a closed face. I'd probably actually rather have an open face than a square face. So I prefer that open face at address. So this club looks really, really sharp for me. So when you're picking out a 3-wood, you got to make sure you get fit for one and that it works right for you. Because if it doesn't work right, again, you're not going to hit it good at all. It's going to be bad. And when you get one that works right for you, it'll just click and you'll be able to hit some really, really good shots. So what happens? What's going on? What do you do when you are hitting 3-woods, right? Let's get a new golf ball. Put a new golf ball down. So we got a new golf ball down. All right. So what's going on? What's the 3-wood supposed to do? Well, essentially, you're going to hit the ball with 3-wood, right? Let's grab a golf ball. You're going to hit the ball with 3-wood, right? Hit down on it, hit square, hit up on it, right? So down, neutral, up. You have some play there. You can hit it a little down. You can be neutral with it. You can actually hit up on it too. I would caution against hitting up on it too much like you would a driver. It's not designed to do that. So for most golfers, that's not going to be a problem. So, we're hitting the ball with the 3-wood. Preferably hit it in the sweet spot, right? But with the newer clubs and especially with Taylormade's twist face technology and stuff like that, you get some leeway with where you can hit shots. So clubs aren't, they're getting easier and easier to hit, right? And so we put the glove on and we will hit a few, and I'll kind of walk through that process as well. So as with your clubs, you have a steady progression of ball position that moves from your middle of your stance forward, right? And so your 3-wood's just going to be a hair behind where the driver's at. I actually like to have it about an inch behind where I play the driver, but that's just me. So you want to have it like a little behind the driver to like maybe an inch, inch and a half, somewhere in that position. And that's going to be your ball position. I like to have my weight pretty neutral, 50-50. I don't like to have my weight on my back my trailing foot. I don't like to have like 60-40, okay? I prefer to do 60-40 with the driver, but with that 3-wood, I prefer to have 50-50. That helps me make sure that I have a neutral to downward hitting strike on the golf ball, because I have a tendency to want to hit up on everything. So I get that ball position where I have it, an inch back from the driver, 50-50 weight distribution, and I pretty much just focus on making sure I can deliver this club face pretty square. So we hit the ball, that's a 3-wood, right? So that one went 257 yards in the air. 257. 257 in the air. Club head speed was right around 103 miles an hour. Spin rate was 3,300 RPMs. Smash factor was 1.5. So I hit it, I smoked it right in the center. Club face was, path was 1 degree in to out, and the club face was a quarter-ish of a degree to the right. So all of those numbers look pretty solid, right? Let's do it one more time. I think that was a misread on the spin, but everything else was pretty good. So launch, 11 degrees, it carried 253. Yeah, the spin rate was a double read at 5,100, so we know that's not right. Swing speed was 107 miles an hour, so that's great. Everything else looks virtually identical to the previous swing. Yeah, so that was just a misread on the spin, which caused it to go a little bit higher. So it went about 20 feet in the air higher than the last one, and it went 4 yards less. And so the misread on the spin caused the, some of the data to be calculated incorrectly. So there's a pull, and so I do that every once in a while here, and it's mostly alignment issues. So I want to hit the ball over in this general area, and I sometimes just pull it over here to the center of the map, and that's where those pulls come from. And if you look at the numbers, you'll see the path is pretty much spot on. It's just the club face comes a little close. That's all that is. But you see that one went 270 yards in the air. Yeah, spin rate was much better. Yeah. So all those numbers look really good. 100 feet in the air is where this golf ball, yeah, right around 100 feet is kind of what the average is going to be on that shot, on this club. So that's really good. So I'm able to launch the ball right. I'm able to get the right amount of spin. So I'm able to get that ball in the air. It's not over spinning, and so the descent angle is, yeah, so right around 40. Yeah, 44 degrees is the descent angle. So if you realize like this is 90, so that golf ball is coming in kind of like that, right? So it's a really flat ball flight. It's got a flat descent to it. So when that ball hits like off the tee, it's going to want to roll. And that's what it's telling me on here. It's telling me that ball is going to roll out 15 or so yards. And so that's great. That's great. So let me grab a little pocket knife, and I will whittle down a tee real quick. Hopefully not cut myself on camera. Sorry. I know. I should have this done beforehand, right? There we go. Okay, I got a tee whittled down. Hopefully I've whittled it down enough to tee the golf ball up, right? So, big question is, Are we doing anything different to hit this club off the tee that we would hitting it different off the ground, right? And the answer is, if the club is fit correctly for you, no. Unless you're trying to hit the golf ball a little bit higher, or a little bit lower than you normally would. But otherwise, no. Right? We're going to play the golf ball about an inch back of where the driver goes. Weight distribution is going to be 50-50. And again, my big thing is I'm focusing on making sure that club face is square at impact. Voila, right? I have no idea where that tee went. So you're only going to get one tee shot out of me with a 3-wood. And that's all there is to it, right? I mean, it's not crazy. Again, the biggest part, the biggest hassle, the hardest thing is making sure that 3-wood is fit right for you and fits into your set right, okay? So if I give you I show you some stuff. So this is a Fujikura Speeder shaft, right? And this is their Evolution model. And so this is a mid-launch, I believe it's a mid-launch, mid-spin shaft. Now my driver is a graphite design. It's a DI 7X. And this is, like I said, this was 80, uncut this was like 86 grams. But this is a high launch, low spin shaft. And this is a mid-launch, mid-spin shaft. So as you can see, they're completely different properties to the shafts, right? So mid-launch, mid-spin, high launch, a low spin. So obviously I want the least amount of spin possible and the highest launch possible with the driver, which is one of the reasons why I'm able to maximize my driver and get the most out of it when I'm playing. So I put a peg in the ground and hit a driver. I'll try and hit a driver for you. We'll hit a driver for you. So, let's wipe off the grip. And as you can see, we want that high launch. High launch is what we want. So obviously just a little bit block there, no big deal. I actually prefer to block it versus hitting it left or pulling it or anything like that anyways. So, but if you look at the numbers, which I'm told you can't see the numbers from the phone, it's not clear enough. 283 in the air, club head speed was, wow, club head speed was 116 miles an hour. Cha-ching, I usually don't get that high. Yeah, so I didn't hit it very solid. Smash factor is only 1.42. That's no big deal. But, there, so as you can see, the driver carried 15, 20 yards farther than the 3-wood would carry. Which means that 3-wood fits right into my set perfectly, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted something that would carry pretty much between like 255 and 265. That's the carry number that I wanted to be. And I didn't want it to have to roll out like 30, 40 yards like I was struggling with my old 3-wood. Like I said, my old 3-wood launched very low, had no spin. So when I would hit it straight, it would roll out 30, 40, 50 yards. On firm days, on a hole that didn't have a fairway that would end, I'd hit a 3-wood that would roll out 60, 70 yards. I did 320-yard drives with a 3-wood. But that's not great because I can't hit that club into a green, which is exactly what I was needing to do. And if I needed to hit 3-wood to keep it short of something, I couldn't do it with that 3-wood. Hitting it off the ground into par 5s, it was horrible because I couldn't carry it far enough. And when it would land very inconsistently. So this new 3-wood is much, much better. And when I get a chance, I will try it out with some M3 heads. I will say that I am very happy with how it performs with that head. And I'd have to get a substantial boost for me to want to switch off that head right now. Might even just say screw it on the M3 heads and just wait for next year's models. Because I am told that the new woods that Taylormade has coming out next year are awesome. So I know they were really, really hyped up with the twist face technology they had this year. And they're very proud of it. And obviously you can see that I use a club that utilizes twist face technology, okay? So, and it says it right there on the club. You see it right there? It says it right there on the club. So it uses it. So I'm obviously a big fan. But yeah, they're really pumped up, really excited to see to release their new woods, and we'll start getting some more information about those early December. I've already seen some of the new irons they have coming out. Well, one of the sets of new irons coming out. I think if you do some searching on the internet, you'll see maybe John Rahm and Jason Day talking about the new irons coming out. So I'm not saying anything about them other than I've hit them and they're amazing. So yeah, I think you'll see a lot of pros switch to them because they're really, really good clubs. Really soft feeling clubs, which has been a knock on Taylormade for a while. But these new irons they got coming out really, really feel really, really good. But anyways, yeah, getting back to the 3-wood, right? So again, there's nothing crazy to it. The most important thing is making sure you get fit and that the club fills its role exactly how you need it to fill that role, right? So this club, my buddy that was critical in getting that club put together, obviously understood my game enough to know what I needed and was able to get me that shaft to go into that club, which it's working very, very well for me. So again, I'm really happy with it. Fills a role, fills a niche really well in my game, and it will be going into the golf bag, even though I don't have any head covers for it right now. Actually, I might have a head cover over there, so I'll stick that on it. But anyways, key part, get fit, and make sure that club fills the role, and make sure that you know what role you need to fill. All right, you may need a 220 club, you may need a 230 club, you may need a club that say you want to hit off the tee or into greens that doesn't roll out, and so you may want a club that launches a little bit higher and lands a little bit softer. So again, you go over that with your fitter, and they'll be able to really fine-tune you up for what you need. So there's a lot of options out there. I don't know if you've actually looked at what the Taylormade guys, or any of the guys, bring with them when they do their fittings and stuff. It's crazy. They have like, obviously they don't have as many 3-wood shafts, but they bring with them, I don't know, 80, 90, 100 driver shafts with them. So they're doing everything they can to make sure you're happy with what they got. So anyways, that's hitting the 3-wood. Let's check, see if there's any questions. If not, I'm going to hit some more shots. Clay has a question. Clay wants to know, why are today's 3-woods so hard to hit high off the ground? Clay, great question. Great question. The reason they're so hard to hit off the ground, one of the reasons is, has been the push for lighter weight shafts. Let me go here, let me show you. I think I have it over here somewhere. Yes, I do. So, this was another shaft I have over here. This is an old 3-wood shaft. So this shaft I have right here in my right hand, this is an old 3-wood shaft. This is an old Diamana Blue board, right? You can see it. This is an 83-gram shaft, X-Flex. This used to be standard weight. Okay, this used to be standard weight for 3-woods. Used to be, not anymore. Now they go with something lighter. So this is the old 3-wood shaft that I have. This is a Matrix White Tie 70X. So this clocks in somewhere around the low 70-gram range. The heads that they use are awesome. So this head is a great head. This arrow burner head is a great head. However, this shaft, because it's too light, it's really hard for me to hit it in the air. So I'll hit one for you, and I'll show you what I mean. And so, I hit that full of fat. It's good. So Clay, I hit one. Let me try it one more time. I'll hit one for you. Show you what I mean. Okay, there you go. See how low that goes? clay? That's what I'm talking about. 2,498 RPMs of spin. All right, carry 260, and it says on here that it rolled out 30 yards. Okay, because the shafts have gotten lighter, if you don't add enough loft, it won't go high enough. Okay, and that's just a problem that a lot of players have, myself included, and probably you too, Clay. And so the lighter shafts are easier to hit a long way. Okay, they're easier to swing faster, so they'll go farther when you connect with them. Okay, and most players crave distance versus the higher launch that, say, maybe someone like you, Clay, that wants, someone like me, and so they want more distance. And so all the companies have been going lighter weight with their shafts to give you more distance because you can swing it faster. Downside is, on a lot of us, some of us, it's harder to get the golf ball up in the air right, and so it flies too low and it's harder to hit off the ground, which is like the huge problem that I was having. So the lighter weight shafts can be harder. So you need a lot of times you might have to go to like 17 or 18 degrees of loft with that 3-wood, maybe you can go to a 4-wood to get the golf ball up in the air appropriately, okay? So try adding more loft to your 3-wood. If you're adjustable, so here's mine. And so I actually have another tip right here too, Taylormade tip. So Taylormade has a couple of tips out there, and if you look right there, it says +2 degrees, and then it has -2 degrees, right? And so you can add loft just with a simple adjustment. And I know, like I said, Taylormade has a tip like that, Callaway has a tip like that, Titleist has a tip like that. And so if you have one of those clubs that has the adjustable hosels, you can just make a simple adjustment, add some loft, and it'll help you get that golf ball up in the air a lot more. But the big reason, Clay, yeah, shafts are getting lighter, and they're doing a lot better job of taking all the spin off the shaft. And so no spin flattens the ball flat out, and the lighter shafts bring the launch down. And so those two factors are causing 3-woods to go a lot lower. Okay? And so if you add some loft, that club head will still keep the spin down for you, and you can really, really crush some 3-woods still with that lighter shaft. I didn't want a lighter shaft, I wanted a heavier shaft because it fits into my set better. But Clay, great question, thanks for asking it. All right. Clay says that's the shaft they use in my... There you go, Clay, so there you go. There you go, he said that's what you use in your Ping G400. So, yeah, so this shaft, again, it's a mid-high-ish launching shaft, but again, lighter weight, it's harder to get up into the air. So again, I think Ping has adjustable hosels as well. So maybe try adding some loft next time at the range. If not, then looking to get something else, because this shaft, like I said, I couldn't get it up in the air very well at all. So great question, Clay. Thanks for asking it. Okay, so no more questions, Clay. If you have anything else you want to ask, I'm just going to hit a couple more shots here and hang out. I had a few drivers. If anybody wants to see some drivers. And if anybody has any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I don't know where my golf ball went. There's my golf ball. Oh, and I know it's been on everyone's mind. Yes, we're okay. We made it through the hurricane. I think I just got power back at my house. My neighbor says that my lights are on the front. So, I have power again. So I went out yesterday around 5 o'clock. I guess around 25,000 people, they said, in my county lost power, obviously myself included. And I think the county next to me, I think there's 30,000 people. On that side of the county, the other side of me, I think had 20,000 people also without power. So several tens of thousands of people in my area without power from the hurricane. But our crews are really good, and they're getting it back on. That's not what I want either. Okay, looks like we're all done here. No more questions pop through. So again, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Clay, thank you very much for your questions. I appreciate it. That's it. So we will let you go. Happy Friday, happy weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Have a good one.